Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabho Girivardhari Yashodanandan Braj Jana Ranjan Yamuna Tira Banachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jayo Radha Shyam Sundar Jayo Radhe Jayo Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jayo Krishna Balaram Jayo Gauranitai Shri Gauranitai Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Gurudev Jayo Gurudev Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Will we do Mangalachan first? Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmahi Sri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadakandikam Vande Ham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansh Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagan Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Savadetam Savadutam Parijan Sahitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Adha Kṛṣṇa Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishaka Nitanshe He Kṛṣṇa Karuna Sindhu Dīna Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyaksha Krapa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vāśādhi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare So we'll be reading Shlok 56, chapter 18. Sarva-karmāṇi api sadā kurvāṇo mat-vyapāśrayaḥ mat-prasādād avāpnoti śāśvatam padam avyayam sarva-karmāṇi api sadā kurvāṇo mat-vyapāśrayaḥ mat-prasādāt avāpnoti śāśvatam padam avyayam sarva-karmāṇi api sadā kurvāṇo mat-vyapāśrayaḥ mat-prasādāt avāpnoti śāśvatam padam avyayam. शब्द भी कर्माणि सदा kurvāṇo mat-vyapāśrayaḥ mat-prasādāt avāpnoti śāśvatam padam avyayam. sarva-karmāṇi api sadā kurvāṇo mat-vyapāśrayaḥ mat-prasādāt avāpnoti śāśvatam padam avyayam. Mataji. sarva-karmāṇi api sadā kurvāṇo mat-vyapāśrayaḥ mat-prasādāt avāpnoti śāśvatam padam avyayam. Shabd meaning sarva, all, karmāṇi, activities, api, although, sada, always, kurvāṇa, performing, mat-vyapāśrayaḥ, under my protection, mat-prasādāt, by my mercy, avāpnoti, one achieves, śāśvatam, the eternal, padam, abode, avyayam, imperishable. Though engaged in all kind of activities, my pure devotee, under my protection, reaches the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. Please repeat after me. Though engaged in all kind of activities, my pure devotee, under my protection, reaches the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. Purport. The word mat-vyapāśrayaḥ means under the protection of the Supreme Lord. To be free from material contamination, a pure devotee acts under the direction of the Supreme Lord or his representative, the spiritual master. There is no time limitation for the pure devotee. He is always 24 hours a day, 100% engaged in activities under the direction of the Supreme Lord. To a devotee who is thus engaged in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, the Lord is very, very kind. In spite of all difficulties, he is eventually placed in the transcendental abode or Kṛṣṇaloka. He is guaranteed entrance there. There is no doubt about it. He is guaranteed entrance there. There is no doubt about it. In that supreme abode, there is no change. Everything is eternal, imperishable, and full of knowledge. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we are almost in the end of chapter 18 and the end of Gita. So Gita is almost complete in chapter 17. Chapter 18 is summary of all the chapters. And up to Shloka 54, Kṛṣṇa was explaining Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and other yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga. From 54 onwards, he is speaking about Bhakti Yoga. In this shloka, we first analyze some verse. What Kṛṣṇa is saying. Sarva-karmāṇi api sadā. You always do all activities. Kurvāṇo mat-vyapāśrayaḥ. Lekin while doing this, you should do under my protection. if you do these things, doing all the activities, but under my protection, what you will do? mat-prasādād, by my grace, avāpnoti, you will obtain. What you will obtain? śāśvatam, padam, avyayam. Padam means destination, śāśvatam means eternal, avyayam means imperishable. If you follow what I have said just now, you will get eternal abode, that is Golok Vrindavan, Golok Dham. So everybody wants to go to Golok Dham? Yes. So we should hear this very carefully. Kṛṣṇa is given and Prabhupada and other acharyas has given very beautiful purport to this shloka. Here Kṛṣṇa is not asking Arjuna to abandon through Arjuna to everybody to not to abandon all the activities. To abandon all activities and just do bhakti or just take sannyas. If you remember in chapter 8, Kṛṣṇa says to Arjuna, Tasmāt sarveshu kāleshu mam anusmara yuddhacha. While doing all the, in the battlefield also, you should remember me. So Kṛṣṇa has never asked us to abandon our activities. Here Kṛṣṇa is saying that you should do your activities, but how you should do? Mat-vyapāśrayaḥ, under my protection. You should take my shelter and I will give you full protection. If one do like this, then what happens? mat-prasādād. A person should, a devotee or a person who is doing his bhakti should make all efforts. Whether he is doing bhakti or varnashram karma, he should make all efforts thinking that he has to do everything and everything depends upon him. But once he does his work, for the results he should totally depend on Kṛṣṇa. He should not think that results will come if I do the things. Results is totally under the hands of Kṛṣṇa. That means mat-prasādād. Only by Kṛṣṇa's mercy. Mat-prasādād, by my mercy. So only by Kṛṣṇa's mercy one achieves this śāśvatam, padam, avyayam. So there are 3-4 very important things. One don't have to abandon the normal activities. He has to take the shelter of Kṛṣṇa and he has to totally depend upon the mercy of the Kṛṣṇa. If he does like this, he will attain the eternal abode. So just we take a brief background of this chapter. Up to chapter 17, Kṛṣṇa has completed everything. In chapter 18, he is giving a summary. In shloka 1 to 12, he gives summary of chapter 1 to 6 of Gita. In shloka 1 to 12 of chapter 18, he gives summary of karma action under whatever he mentioned in chapters 1 to 6 of Bhagavad Gita. Especially mentioning that a sannyasi does not renounce his activities but is detached from their fruits. In shloka 13 to 18 of chapter 18, he summarizes chapter 13 to 18, Jnana section. And the most important part of that was the super soul. In every living entity, there is a super soul along with the soul. That was the most takeaway point. And then in shloka 19 to 40, he explains the yoga ladder. First he mentions like various yogas he mentioned, starting with karma-kāṇ, then nishkām karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyan yoga. In 49 to 55 shlokas, he summarized chapter 6, where he mentions about attaining Brahma-bhuta stage, which he mentions in shloka 54 here also. We will read that shloka 54 also. That is a link for that. In 54, he is ending one part of the things. 2 days back, Brahma-bhuta prasannātma na sochati na kanchati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad-bhaktim labte padam. So this is a stage where one transcends the three modes of material nature. And this yogis, impersonalists, this is the final destination for them. They do all the hard work, they attain knowledge, they do all the Ashtanga yoga, tapasya, everything to attain this stage, this Brahma Bhuta stage. Lekin, Kṛṣṇa what he sings, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatmana Sosti Kanshati, Samastra Mad Bhakti Labte Padam. After this, once a devotee achieves this stage, then he further makes progress in bhakti and starts actual bhakti starts from here, when he is above the three gunas. And then he attains me. He gets my pure bhakti. And if you remember this shloka, we have to relate it to shloka 14.26 also. This is connection with shloka 14.26. Mam cha yo avyucharena bhakti yogena sevate sa gunana samtitetyan dhamma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So, are you able to see the difference between these shloka? 18.54 and 14.26. Here, Kṛṣṇa is saying, one who engages in full devotional service at once transcends the modes of material nature and comes to the level of Brahman. As soon as a devotee starts bhakti, he comes to the stage of Brahma Bhuta stage. He don't have to do any other separate efforts to come to this stage. He don't have to study scriptures and all these things. You don't have to do Ashtanga yoga or tapasya and all. He automatically comes. As soon as a devotee, under the instructions of direction of a spiritual master, starts his devotional service, sadhana bhakti, he comes to the Brahmabhuta stage. Whereas in 1854, this is the ultimate destination of impersonalist. Those who are doing Dhyan Yoga and Gyan Yoga and considering the Paramatma aspect of the Bhagwan, so for them this is the final destination. We will read Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan commentary, which is also very good on this. Just a few. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Srila Baldev Vishapad mentions that person who takes shelter of me as his main work through performing all his prescribed duties, incidentally attains my indestructible or imperishable eternal abode by my mercy. He mentions that the Lord now in 2-3 shlokas describes the process of parinishta devotee. Parinishta devotee is one like who is a pure devotee. We can say in a sense pure devotee or ananya bhakt, who just takes shelter of Kṛṣṇa only. If you see, ananya bhakt means where there is exclusiveness of sadhana and sadhya. Sadhana is only bhakti and sadhya is only Kṛṣṇa. Then he is called parinishta bhakt or ananya bhakt or shuddha bhakt. They are all interchangeable terms. A person need not be very pure. He may be still contaminated with material desires and everything. But when his goal is fixed, sadhya is Kṛṣṇa and sadhana is bhakti, sadhana bhakti, then he is supposed to be a ananya bhakt. Are you getting this? Ananya bhakt may not be purely pure, maybe may not be about 3 gunas as of now, But once he starts the thing, he very soon becomes transcendents the three modes of nature. But starting, as soon as one adopts this procedure, like I have to do bhakti only, and my sadhya is, my ultimate goal is Kṛṣṇa. It is called a Parinisht Bhakt. Then his main goal is to achieve Kṛṣṇa's prem, and whatever he do is secondary. Same thing here, Srila Balvedeva Bhushan is mentioning, he who performs all his prescribed actions as a secondary interest, as much as he feels convenient, indicated by api. The word api used in this section mentions that whatever is necessary only, whatever he thinks convenient and necessary. Api, mainly his main aim is to do sadhana bhakti, but to maintain his body and soul and to stay in the social order of life. According to Varnashram system, he does whatever necessary, what can be easily done. That activities are not main. As much as he feels convenient, and who takes shelter of me alone, sadhya, exclusiveness of sadhya, mat-vyapāśrayaḥ, one who only takes my shelter as his main interest, by my extreme mercy, mat-prasādād, attains the eternal spiritual world, composed of unchanging, pure knowledge and bliss. The author of Vedanta Sutra explains sarvata api tatra vobhya lingat. This is Vedanta Sutra 3.434, which mentions the Parinisht devotee in all cases performs service to the Lord as a primary duty because of indications to that effect in the Shruti and Smriti. So here what in this shloka 18.56, the main aspect is a devotee's main function is to work for Kṛṣṇa under his shelter and depending upon his mercy. But while doing this he also engages in normal activities according to his Varnashram system as a secondary means. If he does like that, he transcends the three modes of nature and soon he will obtain the eternal abode. That will depend, as Prabhupada mentions in his purport, this guaranteed. He may faces some problem, but last 2-3 lines we'll read again. To a devotee who is thus engaged in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, the Lord is very, very kind. In spite of all difficulties, he is eventually placed in the transcendental abode or Kṛṣṇa. He is guaranteed entrance there is no doubt about it. Soon, in context of Brahma's life of eternity, even few lives is also soon. We should not be disturbed, like if we are doing bhakti for last 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, we are not getting taste or something like that. Wherever in 930, 931, Kṛṣṇa says, Kṣipram bhavati dharmatma. Immediately as soon as one shall taste my shelter, soon is a relative term. In terms of Brahma's ayu, even few lives is very, very soon. So we should not be discouraged. We should always keep engaged in doing our sadhana bhakti as guided by our spiritual master and with full faith. Kṛṣṇa will always protect me. Kṛṣṇa has given this assurance in this chapter also, in this particular shloka also. Mat-ashraya. Prabhupada, Kṛṣṇa will always, my spiritual master, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, in his lecture on this particular shloka, was mentioning especially about this. Kṛṣṇa always protects his devotees. He has given examples of, as we know, Prahlad Maharaj, Pandavas, all the devotees, whether they seek protection from Kṛṣṇa or not? Kṛṣṇa always protects his devotees. But he knows the time, where we have to protect. He knows when and where, how to protect him. But if we are totally dependent on him, there is no doubt about it. 931, Krishna's, this is the thing ki, if a devotee is facing problems because of external atmosphere, he is doing his bhakti, then Kṛṣṇa saves him. What to talk about this? Even a devotee, by his own mistake, accidentally falls, even then Kṛṣṇa protects the devotee. His devotee never perishes. 9.31. We can just read that also. 9:30 and 31. They are very encouraging shlokas for us devotees. 9:30 and 9:31. Whenever I have some discouragement, negativity, I read that shlokas. Very, very moral boosting shlokas. Krishna says, Api chesu dudacharo bhajte mam anya bhag sadhu dev se mantavya samagya, he said. A devotee, even if he is doing very abnormal activities, but if he is ananya bhag means that exclusiveness of sadhan, only my bhakti, then he should be considered as a sadhu. And in the next slok, he is saying, Chipram bhavati dharmatma śāśvatam shantim nigacchati kontehe pati jane name bhakta pranashyati. Chipram bhavati dharmatma. If he accidentally falls, he will soon become dharmatma and attain eternal śāśvatam shantim nigacchati. Kontehe pati jane name bhakta pranashyati. Here, Kṛṣṇa is promising, not directly, through Arjuna, he is making announcement, my devotee never perishes. Why? Because he sometimes breaks his promises, but his devotee, he will never break his devotee's promise. We all know this story. So even what I am trying to say, was mentioned here, even if one falls down accidentally and commits mistakes, Kṛṣṇa will protect him. So in normal case, if we are doing our bhakti and we are facing external problems, maybe so many reasons, because of materials, in the material sense or spiritual sense, whatever problems we may face, we should not be discouraged. Of course, we will be affected by that. We have to work hard to get out of these problems, but we should keep our sadhana alive. We should never leave our sadhana. We should never leave our faith on Kṛṣṇa. Yes, what is happening? I am doing so many years. No, now I will take shelter of Bhairav Baba or something like that, that thing. No. In all situations, we should totally depend upon Kṛṣṇa. We should never leave our bhakti process. We should follow the instructions of our spiritual master. We should be in the association of devotees. This association of devotees is very, very important. If we are in the association of devotees, we will get that moral support. Yes, whatever problems we face, yes, Kṛṣṇa will, whatever I am facing, this is for my purification only. Whatever Kṛṣṇa does, it is for my benefit. We don't know, but Kṛṣṇa knows better than us what is best for us. That faith we should have. Then Prabhupada is saying, whatever Prabhupada says is just lakir ka patthar. Once all of us who have come under the shelter of Prabhupada and taken this sadhana bhakti process will definitely achieve Kṛṣṇaloka, Golok Dham. No doubt about it. This is Prabhupada is saying. I am not saying. Specifically, I have read 2-3 times this. To a devotee who is thus engaged in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, the Lord is very, very kind. In spite of all difficulties, he is eventually placed in the transcendental abode, Kṛṣṇaloka. He is guaranteed entrance there. There is no doubt about it. Prabhupada is mentioning, Kṛṣṇa himself mentions so many places. 1866, sarva-dharmān parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja, sarva-dharm aham tvam sarva-papebhyo mokshishyami ma sucha. You don't worry about the sins. We are worried ki, it is mentioned in this purport also, I will mention, ki we are worried ki we are so sinful and all, how can we do this pure bhakti and all that. We should not worry about our sins. Of course, intentionally we should not commit sins, but whatever sins are there because of prarabdha and all these things, Kṛṣṇa will take care of that. We have to abandon all these other religious activities. What is more important is anya abhilashita shunyam, jnana karmādi anavaratam. Abhilasha should be only Kṛṣṇa. Anya abhilashita, we should not be abhilashita shunyam, anya abhilashita shunyam. As a soul, we should have some desire. There should be abhilasha. We cannot be abhilasha free, desire free. But desire should be to get love of Kṛṣṇa. Anya abhilashita shunyam, jnana karmādi anavaratam. That means we should not be free of jnana karma. No. That jnana and karma which is necessary for bhakti is required. But our bhakti should not be covered by jnana and karma. Anavratam. Bhakti should not be covered. It should be uncovered. Like we have heard a story, once Kṛṣṇa pretends that he is having a headache and asks somebody who will give him dust of a devotee, that will be removed only then. I will get cured when I get the dust of the devotee. Everybody refused. No, it is not as per Shastra. They are applying their knowledge. That jnana is relevant. And Gopi immediately says, whatever Kṛṣṇa is saying, will do. So that bhakti should be anavratam. We need knowledge also. Without knowledge, we cannot do bhakti also. There is a little, we have to understand the things very properly. If you say that jnana is not necessary, it doesn't mean that we should know who is Kṛṣṇa, who is I am. That knowledge is required. Whatever is mentioned in Gita, Bhagavatam, it is jnana. This is divya jnana. Any knowledge by which we know about Kṛṣṇa, who is we. That jigyasa, Veda started with Brahma jigyasa. Bhagavatam starts with that. We have to have that knowledge which helps us in the basic three things. Who am I? Who is Kṛṣṇa? What is my relationship with Kṛṣṇa? And how I can live with that relationship. These four things. Who am I? Who is Kṛṣṇa? Who is Kṛṣṇa or ultimate absolute truth? What is my relationship with him, and how can I revive that relationship? This knowledge we have to attain. That is divya jnana. This is not speculative knowledge. Where we are saying ki jnana vadatavutam, that speculative knowledge, yes, why this has happened, why, and all this nonsense knowledge. So jnana, or Kṛṣṇa also says, dan, tap, and yajna, never to be done. These are activities. This comes under karma. So we have to do some activities. A person cannot remain without doing any activity. So we have to do karma also. But we have to understand the context. In which context what is being said. In this, whenever we talk about bhakti, this shloka we have to remember. This is a definition shloka for bhakti. In NOD, anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karmādi anavratam. We don't have to remove jnana karma. We have to uncover. Bhakti should not be covered by jnana and karma. Even Sanatana Goswami story we know. For getting out of jail, he has bribed a jailer. So if he applied his knowledge, jnana, this is not good, so he will remain there. We could not ever get all the shastras we got. So we have to know what Kṛṣṇa wants to say. We have to apply our discrimination, mind and discrimination. Just should not catch the words and some words and rigid on that thing. So we are just explaining the shloka. Some points is mentioned in Srila Vishnu Chakravarti's commentary also. I will just read that also. This is a book by His Grace Bhujan Prabhu. He has given his some commentary and he has mentioned about this. I am reading a few lines from this. This is very good lines. The Lord tells Arjuna that actions performed purely in Kṛṣṇa service takes place above the modes of nature. This shloka comes after 18.54 when he transcends the three modes. Whatever we are doing under the section of spiritual master, though maybe seems to be under the modes of material, but actually it is above three gunas. Whatever bhakti we are giving, even if our mind is not concentrating on japa, when we are doing japa, it is about three modes. When we are eating prasadam, it is about three. We are transcending the modes of natural nature. Lord tells Arjuna that actions performed in Kṛṣṇa's service. So whatever we are doing for Kṛṣṇa, and if we relate everything, like we have to come to Mangala Arati, and for that we are taking snan and doing everything. So this is also part of bhakti. So whatever action we are cooking for offering to Kṛṣṇa, that is also part of bhakti. In a sense, whatever the devotee do, if he is earning also something, that is also to maintain the child and to make the child Kṛṣṇa consciousness. That is also Kṛṣṇa bhakti. Lord tells Arjuna that actions performed purely in Kṛṣṇa's service takes place above the modes of nature, on the transcendental platform. If one does not work for Kṛṣṇa under Kṛṣṇa's direction, he will be forced to work under the direction of modes of material nature. There is a fine difference. If one is working for Kṛṣṇa, if the intent, basic, our goal, ultimate goal is to achieve Kṛṣṇa's love. Whatever he is doing, ultimately for that love, he keeps always that in mind. Yes, I have to attain Kṛṣṇa prem and I will have to go to Goloka. Then while performing all his activities, that remembrance is there. Then all our activities are there to please Kṛṣṇa. If that is not our goal, if we are just concerned about our welfare or our family welfare or our state welfare, then he will be forced to work under the dictation of modes of nature. Activities are same, only the intent is there. What is our goal? The activity, why we are doing that activity. If we are doing that activity for the pleasure of Kṛṣṇa, that is bhakti about and above the three modes of nature. And if we are doing to satisfy our senses, our family senses, or some other exterior motives, then we are under the modes of three material nature. This is very, very thin line of that, but it is very clear. Same activity. Prabhupada has given so many times example. If a soldier kills a opposite person, he is honored, given padmv, and if he kills somebody else, he is put behind the jail. Same activity, but intent, what is the intent? So if we are doing any activity in pursuit of pleasing Kṛṣṇa, that is part of bhakti and that is about three gunas. So this shloka, this 18.56, is totally transformation of the subject. Up to this in 18th chapter, he was mentioning how to come to the stage of Brahmabhuta stage. Suddenly, from 1855, he mentions, yesterday we have read, Bhaktya Mam Janati Yavan Yasmin. 1854 he mentioned how to achieve this Brahmabhuta stage. Then he says, only by bhakti one can know. Even if impersonalist or Nishkam Karma Yogi want to achieve Kṛṣṇa, want to go to Golok head, he has to come to bhakti. Some impersonalist, final destination is only Brahmajyoti. They will end there only. But if somebody wants to come to Kṛṣṇa Prem and want to go to spiritual abode, then he has to come to bhakti. Whatever perfection he attains in Dhyan Yoga, Gyan Yoga or Karma Yoga will not help him to attain Kṛṣṇa. Only by bhakti. Bhaktya Mama Vijanati. This has been mentioned in so many verses in Gita and Bhagavatam. Only by, in Uddhav Gita, Uddhav also, Bhagavatam, Kṛṣṇa mentions so many. Only by bhakti, a person can know me and comes to me. All these things can help to get above this transcendental three modes. But that is not the ultimate goal. That is a basic thing. As we said in the starting, as a devotee starts bhakti under the guidance of spiritual master sincerely, he is above the three guna. Whatever he is doing, if the aim is to please Kṛṣṇa and the spiritual master, whatever he do is part of bhakti and it's above three gunas. Here he mentioned, Bhujan Prabhu mentioning, Kṛṣṇa has used the words mat-prasādād, avāpnoti, to state that only by his grace a devotee attains his eternal imperishable growth. We can recollect that Damodar Leela, Yashoda Maya are doing so much efforts, but without Kṛṣṇa mercy, we cannot get. We will get Kṛṣṇa mercy if we are surrendered. We should not have that arrogance or something like, I am doing bhakti, Kṛṣṇa has to give me darshan and all these things. No. It's Kṛṣṇa's mercy. He can give or we cannot give. We cannot order Kṛṣṇa to come and appear for me. What Dhyani wants, no, I am doing this, rain has to come and all these things, this has to come. No. These demigods and all this, that thing may happen. But Kṛṣṇa is not subordinate to anybody. He is only by his mercy. If you are surrendered to him, some may be doing bhakti, but not taking shelter of Kṛṣṇa. I am not recollecting examples. Maybe Rama, we can say Ravana or something like that. They are not have that. They are doing so much tapasya and everything, but they are not taking shelter of Kṛṣṇa. They are thinking yes, they have to Kṛṣṇa or something has to come and give. Kṛṣṇa is not the order supplier. Whatever they say, he will do it. Kṛṣṇa, of course, without asking, he will give. But that surrender attitude is there. From this 10 shlokas, 56 to 66, is ultimately taking slowly in the bhakti yoga to surrender. Starting with 56, 55 is mentioning that yes, bhakti, without bhakti we cannot attain him. Then is from 56 to 66. If we link it by study, it will be very interesting. Ultimately in 66 what he says, sarva-karmāṇi pahitaje. 65, in 63 again Kṛṣṇa says, I have given every knowledge now, since you are my devotee, I again summarize all those things in 2 shlokas only. 65 and 66 are the complete essence of Gita, manmana bhava madbhakta madhyaji mamnushko. How we have to do bhakti, and then after that we have to surrender. Ultimate purpose of bhakti is to surrender to Kṛṣṇa. So, at the will, why we are doing bhakti? To please Kṛṣṇa. Not for any other person, not for our pleasure. We will get pleasure automatically, that is no doubt. If we please Kṛṣṇa, we will get pleasure. But if we do bhakti for our pleasure, that is not the highest type of bhakti. We heard so many this gopis, when they are serving, they are getting so much interest in something like that. But because of that interest, that service is affected. So they don't want to even enjoy that service. By enjoying the service, their service is being affected. So they don't want to even enjoy the service. You are getting it? By serving, gopis are enjoying so much enjoyment, so much bliss, but they want to, but by that bliss, their service is being affected. So they don't want to get that bliss also. Their aim is only to please Kṛṣṇa. If that is the stage, then Kṛṣṇa is paradhina. And that we know, we must have heard, when we are serving somebody with the pure intention to please him, we are getting more pleasure than the served. If we are doing some service under obligation, we are not satisfied, we are not getting pleasure. That is under obligation, we are doing so many service. But if we are doing unconditional service with the motive to please the served, we are getting more pleasure. In the material life, mothers are getting more pleasure by serving his child. She is getting pleasure serving the child. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why he has taken incarnation? What is the internal purpose of his appearing? He wants to feel the how much pleasure Radha is getting by serving me. He wants to feel that pleasure. He was not enjoying it. So by serving we get more pleasure. But our intention should be to please Kṛṣṇa. That's why I am explaining this thing. If the pleasure is even in bhakti, if we are doing bhakti for our pleasure, that is also not the highest thing. Yes, it's ultimately, slowly will that our intention will go. But the main purpose should be to please the Kṛṣṇa. Here is Vishwanath Thakur is just making a dialogue between Arjuna and Kṛṣṇa. Arjuna is saying ki, you are saying ki, your bhakta, you are doing karma as per your directions, you will attain my abode which is eternal. But the Nishkam Karma Yogi or Dhyan Yogi goes to Brahma Jyoti which is perishable, which he comes back. Why? Are you impartial? Kṛṣṇa is saying, my abode is infallible and does not undergo any loss, even at the total annihilation of the universe. This is due to my inconceivable power. But a jnani comes to the stage of nashkarmya and achieves sayujya only after many lifetimes of various austerities and only after all the material action of his senses has ceased. Jnani is doing so much things. He has stopped doing all the sense enjoyment, sense work and all that, so many lifetimes, but again he has to fall down. How is it that the devotee attains your eternal abode? Simply by taking shelter of you. Even though they are all engaged in karma and still have material desires. What Kṛṣṇa is saying? By my grace this happens. You should understand that my mercy has inconceivable powers. So Vishwanath Thakur is presenting it in the way that Arjuna is raising questions. We should not be astonished by seeing the facts that so jnanis and karma yogis, jnanis is doing so many things and still they are not achieving such higher pleasure. And Kṛṣṇa's devotees, even doing all type of things, just taking shelter of Kṛṣṇa, is getting all this eternal enjoyment. Why? Because of Kṛṣṇa's mercy. And Kṛṣṇa's mercy has inconceivable powers. Baldev Vidyabhushan Padu has used this word which is come in the Vedas, Vedanta Sutra, Parinisht Bhakta. Parinisht Bhakta again means who directly comes to bhakti without taking shelter of Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Person may also advance from Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga to Bhakti Yoga, but a Parinisht Bhakta is one who directly comes into Bhakti, sadhana Bhakti, under the guidance of a spiritual master. A practitioner devotee automatically reaches Brahmavata stage, whereas for impersonalist, Brahmavata stage is their ultimate goal. A devotee makes further progress from that stage and makes efforts to get the love of Kṛṣṇa and ultimately goes back to Godhead. So the crux of this shloka is how we have to work. We have to work for the pleasure of Kṛṣṇa, Anukilana Kṛṣṇano, always keeping Kṛṣṇa in center. Whatever we are doing, we should be doing it for Kṛṣṇa, not considering ourselves as doer. That even while doing bhakti or other varnashram activity, we should never consider ourselves as a doer. We are doing because of our abilities. Whatever abilities we are getting, that is being given by Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa's mercy. And offering the results of the work to Kṛṣṇa. And our actions and sadhana bhakti should be uncovered by jnana and karma, jnana karmādi nāranam. So Kṛṣṇa is telling us if we do like this, we can obtain eternal, imperishable spiritual word. Four, 5 minutes are there. I can. In 14.26, this is sadhana bhakti, ananya bhakti. There was some special things mentioned. I will like to just go through that. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 22, Payal 105. This has been taken from Bhakti Dharma Sindhu. Krati sadhya bhavet sadhya bhava sa sadhana bhiyadha nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatyam hadi sadhyata. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I have opened earlier Hindi, now we have to read in English. There is some confusion. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhavasa sadhana vida nitya siddhyasya bhavasya prakatyam hadi sadhyata. When transcendental devotional service, please listen carefully, when transcendental devotional service by which love for Kṛṣṇa is attained is executed by the senses, it is called sadhana bhakti, or the regulative discharge of devotional service. Such devotion eternally exists within the heart of every living entity. The awakening of this eternal devotion is the potentiality of devotional service in practice. What is mentioned is, this is a very long purport, just small reading. This verse is found in Bhakti Samrat Sindhu 1-2. Because living entities are minute atomic parts and parcel of Lord, devotional service is already present within them in dormant condition. Here it is mentioned that what is the essentials of a sadhana bhakti. It is sadhana bhakti is being defined. Four things are basically there. First, we have to do by our own senses. Bhakti means one is, first thing is sadhana ki exclusiveness of sadhana process. We have to do only by bhakti. Second is exclusiveness of lakshya. That two things were already. The third is the activity that has to be done by our own senses. Not like that we ask somebody to do this and we will get the results. By our own senses we have to do it. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying this is the thing. Like in karma-kāṇḍis, we ask some brahmana to do some mahamatunja and all that, and we get this, we thought we will get this. This is not that. Bhakti has to be done by ourselves only. This is basic ingredient of sadhana bhakti. So there are five things. One is exclusive of sadhana, exclusive of sadhanas. It has to be done by our own senses. And that thing is already there in the heart. We have to just revive that. That bhakti for Kṛṣṇa. It is not a new thing. We have to do something, invent or something like that. If we do that process, that will be automatic. That is lying dormant in our heart. Every living entity's heart, that bhakti is there. Love for Kṛṣṇa is there in the dormant stage. Like when Prabhupada gives examples, a child learns to walk, he falls and again lifts up. That tendency is there, that's why he is able to walk. Otherwise he will not be able to walk. So similarly, bhakti is always there. If we adopt this process, mentioned in the Shastras and given by our spiritual master, that love for Kṛṣṇa, that bhakti, Shuddha bhakti will develop. Sarvabhauma Prabhu has given a picture also like that. It will take time, sir. Automatically it will develop. That bhakti is there. If we do the process, we will get Kṛṣṇa's love automatically. But we have to have faith in Kṛṣṇa's words. Whatever we are doing, we should do for the pleasure of Kṛṣṇa and not for our sense gratification. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If you have any doubt, if you will try to say something, all us very advanced devotees, but still, if anything relating to today's thing is there, I will try to. So, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If anything I made any mistakes, please forgive me and bless me.